Flashback 4.9 Brocko McDeema's Kidnapping of Us. It was already early evening by the time we had finished our afternoon pub adventure, meeting cultist mob boss Brocko McDeema. Katie asked, "Can we order room service before we turn in for what's left of the night? I'm famished. I didn't eat much at lunch because, well, it was scary, and I wanted to pay attention to everything and everyone, not eating or anything. And here we are, no food, long day." Bob echoed, "Yeah, let's order room service. I don't want to go anywhere for food. I think it's safer we just stay put, stay here." And so, well, we ordered room service. Although we had ordered our dinner fairly early, I thought, it was at least an hour and a half to get our food. Finally, our food was delivered. The waiter seemed, though, to be in a rush. He did not even wait for a tip. Bob snarked. That guy, he was so rude. Just a drop-and-go delivery service. I mean, at least ask us if it's what we ordered. Declaring himself the team food server, Bob handed everyone their respective meals, drinks, condiments, and silverware wrapped in a black cloth napkin. Deputy Taylor said, disappointed, "Well, my salad is more than a little brown. I don't feel good eating a brown salad, especially not knowing how long the dressing may have been on it, how long it was exposed to get nasty. They probably made the salad first, then cooked all your food, and then delivered it all at once. That's stupid. Salad should come last. Making my salad sitting out for over an hour does not make it a good salad to eat. I'm not going to do it. It makes me wonder, though, if the hotel leaves other makings and condiments out for long periods of time. You know, do they even replace old sauces and stuff like that in the containers? I don't know, I'm questioning all the sanitation in this place." The deputy looked disgusted. She tossed her salad in the hotel plastic bag-lined garbage can. And no, she was not tossing the salad to mix it. She just threw that brown salad into the garbage. I offered, "You can have half of my chicken cordon bleu sandwich if you'd like, deputy. You could have some of my fries, too." The deputy smiled. "Thanks, that's kind of you. I'll pass on the sandwich, but I will gladly have some fries." And so, I moved the fries plate between us and we shared. Perhaps it was a strain of go, 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 or perhaps it was the stress of murder and life-threatening adventure. But suddenly, as if out of nowhere, a freight train of sleep hammered me. It appeared to slam Bob and Katie just as hard, almost at the same time. I was so tired, I didn't even make it to the couch. My eyes, my head, they were overwhelmed with an urgent need to sleep. Things were fading and getting hazy. I was asleep, unconscious. I woke up, not on the couch, but no, not on the floor. I awoke gagged and shackled in iron chains and manacles to a stone pew, a bench. There was a ramped semicircle of more stone pew benches, forming ever larger rows as it went back, much like a little mini Roman Colosseum. The focal point of this mini Colosseum was a stone altar, which was surrounded by 5 skull-capped pikes at each of the altar's corners. Flames burned from no apparent fuel source from the skull's eye sockets atop those pikes. It was hard to make out, but there was a faint green hue emanating all around the skulls as well. At the head of the altar was a 5-foot-tall gold candelabra. But at the top of the candelabra, suspended above its black and blood red-burning candlesticks, was suspended what appeared to be a foot-long strip of gray cloth. The place reminded me of a druidic cavern that I had visited as a young adult on a caving, spelunking adventure. But This was not nearly as cool. We were bound, and there were human skulls, and this seemed to be a human sacrificial altar. Seated along the rows of stone pews that faced the sacrificial altar were perhaps 24 people donning pitch black robes, with their heads obscured by cowls. Standing on either side of the altar were 2 more cultists in robes and cowls. And standing in front of the altar, between the stone pews, and observing the cultists, was a large man in dark purple robes and a cowl. His cowl and robes were adorned with golden runes that seemed to catch the candlelight and reflect it in all directions, almost like they were all little prisms. Around his neck he wore an inverted golden cross. Katie and Bob were gagged and shackled to the left of me, but there was no Deputy Taylor. The deputy was nowhere to be seen. I could only imagine what they may have done to her. If they knew that she was the killer of their cultists in the alleyway, I worried for Deputy Taylor. But right now, I greatly worried about us. Were they planning to sacrifice us? Had they already sacrificed the deputy? And to the right of me, there was a middle-aged woman with a broken arm and a sling. Who was she? Bob's voice could be heard as unintelligible muffles through his gag. I could see Katie's eyes were wide with absolute horror. I squirmed and tried to free myself from the shackles, but this was not a video game. They were cold, hard metal. They were not going to break, and there was no real way to slip my hands through the manacles. There was no way to break them either, or to free the chains from the benches. We were attached to the pew. How many times, I pondered, in such a short period of time could we be so close to dying or being murdered? How many times can we actually face death and survive? Things were not looking good. The big center stage cultist spoke. It was Brocko. It was Brocko McDeema. I recognized that mobster voice anywhere after spending the intimidation session with him, where he informed me that I was not even eligible to claim my inheritance due to not being born in or living in Ireland, and said I would not get a dime from him either. Well, Brocko McDeema, the huge cultist in front of the altar, intoned, "Baal, powerful Baal, we serve you. We praise your glory and pride. We submit to you, Baal, Prince and Lord of the Underworld." He pulled from behind a robe flap my flaming dagger. Brocko McDeema spoke. The eye of Baal saw through its crow and rat minion's eyes, where Milmore's descendants and allies were hiding. Brocko declared, "We have found he who may be the fulcrum of Milmore vision and prophecy. We shall not allow the Baal prophecy to come true." He said his name was Richard Seaborn. He is, in fact, Richard Seaborn Milmore. He had the flaming dagger of choice, intended to empower free will against divine and celestial forces. This dagger cannot remain in the fulcrum's hands. We shall test all Milmore descendants. We shall place the dagger of choice in each of their hands, and if it alights in flame, we will have found the fulcrum. McDeema continued, "and we shall show the fulcrum the horrors of reality, the nightmare that humanity truly is, and how humankind deserves to repent for its selfishness, greed, wickedness, and its many unforgiven sins. The fulcrum, Richard, shall know that humankind is inherently evil. That humankind has earned its place in eternal torment and damnation. Richard will know there are no true matches or candlesticks of light anymore. That they have all been extinguished over the millennia by the sins of humankind, by betraying God and His glory. He will know, Richard will know, that humankind has failed God and has been sentenced to hell under the control of the Prince of Hell, Lord Lucifer and Satan, the mighty Baal. Baal will show Richard the truth of humankind's evil, make him witness to its sin-motivated, inflicted horrors and nightmares on its fellow humankind. Brocko McDeema declared, "Tonight, upon the stroke of midnight, we will commence stitching Richard's two friends and Councilwoman Chiara into the tapestry of Baal. Once Richard has seen humankind is inherently evil, and it is not worth saving, he will willingly, in his despair, place his soul too into the tapestry of Baal. All hail, Prince of Hell, Lord Baal. Place the councilwoman onto the altar in preparation."